Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura and here I talk about mental health, minimalism, lifestyle, and my little family's journey of having a baby. And so the baby part is what I want to talk to you guys about today, but it also kind of leans into life in general because the last update I gave, I was at about like 10-ish weeks pregnant and I'm now at 14. There's been a little bit of a gap, and so I apologize for that, but I want to give you guys the full sort of rundown of how we've gotten to where we are now, and also a little bit of explanation as to why I have been unable to give updates for the last wee while, but why hopefully it's going to be regular again from now on. So if you'd like to see more of my content, please click the subscribe button down below and let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, I'd like to apologize for not posting as regularly as I would like to. I did say I was aiming to do an update every week, and then the last one was a couple of weeks combined, and now we're combining like 3 or 4 weeks into one. The reason for that, and I have my phone here to help me remember just all of the things that have been going on, is that we've had a lot of life stuff going on. So the house you see behind me right now is looking very like nice and neat and clean and tidy, and that is because we're trying to sell our house. And we did most of our renovations ourselves. And so the before and after is quite dramatic with this place. Like you see the nice, like tiled, let me show you guys. You see the nice, like tiled backdrop here, the lighting under here, these like beautiful big white cabinets. We have the cute gooseneck tap. We have the engineered stone countertop, all of that. When we bought this place, we had like 6 terrible cabinets, the laminate countertop that someone hadn't even peeled the plastic off of, and some horrible tiled floors. And that was kind of it. So it's been a very long journey over the last almost 4 years since we've been living here, and all of that kind of culminated in the last few weeks where we finally had to do the finishing touches. And anyone who's renovated a house will tell you the finishing touches take a lot longer than you think. And so we had a list like this long of stuff that we needed to get through, and this kind of started around when I was like 11-12 weeks, where I was just starting to get my energy back a little bit. And as soon as I was not feeling like completely dead every evening, I had to start getting into that. And so what that meant was that I just had no time or energy left to do any videos, because I just basically was like eating, sleeping, going to work, walking the dog, and doing renovations. Like that was all I could do, and I was still exhausted like every day. So that's kind of where we have been. So during weeks kind of 11 and 12, that's kind of where we're at. I do have a really cute video, and I don't think I can play the music from it because I think that it's almost certainly copyrighted, but I was feeling really, really good, and so I had like a little dance party with myself a couple of weeks ago. Let me just find it, and I'll sing this song for you guys so you like know, and I will play it here for you. But this was just when I was starting to get my energy back, which was awesome. So that was me having a little dance party at 12 weeks because we were getting renovations done. So I felt like we were really making progress. A lot of what I've been working on the last little while has felt like stuff that I'm putting a lot of work into, but the progress isn't like visible. And this was visible progress, which my brain just really loves. And I was feeling better, and I could eat better foods, and yeah, it was just really, really awesome. So anyway, that has been a lot of our time in the last few weeks. We finally got our house on the market last weekend. Yeah. And so the big update that you guys will be waiting for end of first trimester is the ultrasound. And so our ultrasound day was literally the same day that we had the photos taken for our house. We had to have our house done the night before. I ended up overworking myself. I was like a zombie. basically crawling around, painting the trim on stuff. That was actually my first time throwing up in first trimester. Was I overworked myself to the point where I threw up, which is kind of like when you run a marathon and then you be sick. It was like that. So for pregnancy body, working that hard was that. And so I was like, okay, that is also why I did not jump straight into trying to make a video last week, because I had overworked myself, and that's really not a good idea in pregnancy. Unfortunately, it was kind of necessary. A lot of these more like fiddly things my husband is not great at. It would take him 4 times as long. So it really did just make sense for me to do it. So anyway, no more of that, which is also why I delayed this a little bit. But the same day we had the photos taken was the day of the ultrasound. And so I wasn't super nervous, but it's always nerve-wracking, right? It's always nerve-wracking when you have those tests to see how baby is doing. And this was my first ever, baby ultrasound, because I didn't have one at like 7-8 weeks because I had no causes for concern. And I'm trying to, as an anxious person, be less anxious in this pregnancy. I'm really trying to just kind of go with the flow, go with my very experienced midwife's recommendations, and just do the basic testing and the basic stuff that's required, and don't feel like I have to go above and beyond. And the thing is that I already know that I have very high standards for myself. And so if I feel like I'm not going above and beyond, I'm probably still hitting like a really good level. So that was where I was at. So we had the first ultrasound and everything is looking perfect so far, which is really great. So we were able to see the 4 chambers of the heart, the stomach, the bladder, the diaphragm. We could see 2 sides to the brain, 2 arms, 2 legs, 10 fingers. Couldn't quite see toes, but 2 little feet you could see where the toes are. Really good placenta and good placental placement. So it's like kind of up high to one side, but looks nice and healthy, but it's not down near the cervix, which can be an issue. It does move during pregnancy, obviously, but that's really good. It was measuring perfectly for where it was at. We actually had the ultrasound at 13 weeks, 5 days, and the cutoff to be able to do the crown to rump measurement to check how baby's developing. The cutoff is 13 weeks, 6 days. And so we were measuring around that 14-week mark. So we're basically perfect for that. So I will show you guys some photos quickly. They are on my phone. Oh yeah, that's right. I'll be able to crop them and then put them on screen, and I'll just crop out identifying information, obviously. But we have the face. So I'll show you guys the face here, which is super exciting. We have the little crown to rump measurement there, so you can see like a nice healthy spine. You can see where the little legs are. Arms are up here like this, and you can start to see the organs and everything, which is really cool. And then this one I really like because you can see the little hand, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, in this, baby's crown to rump, so crown to butt, is like 8 centimeters. It's like this long. But yeah, that was really, really crazy. So we got to do that. I will say that the ultrasound was not my favorite experience because our little bean likes to tuck itself away in corners. And so we ended up having to go back into the waiting room. I had to drink more water, even though I'd already drunk water beforehand, because basically when your bladder's full, it helps to push everything up into an area where they've got better chance of seeing it all. So I had to drink more water, and then with my like sore low back and stuff, I'll get into that, had to like do sidey sides on the table and everything, but we were able to convince baby to stop being all like scrunched up so we could actually get that measurement, which was really, really good. And we got the photos taken for our house. We were also in the midst of trying to clarify some questions that we had for our German visa stuff. We are going to be on a very new visa type, which only came out on the 1st of June, and I'm filming this in early August. And so that is the opportunity card, or the Chancenkarte. And so that means that myself and my husband, because we both have good degrees, we will be selling this house, so we'll have money to support ourselves, and we'll be paying for private health insurance over there. We then can basically show up for a year, figure our lives out, do some education, do some part-time work, travel around, just kind of do whatever we need to for a year. And then at the end of that, either go on to like work visas, or potentially my husband is looking at a master's program over there. And then I would have a partnership visa to that, which then just kind of allows me to do whatever. So yeah, we had a few questions we needed to clarify on that looked like there could be showstoppers, but that is all totally fine. So yes, it's been a little bit, it's been a little bit of a wee while. In terms of pregnancy changes, so let me angle this down, because I know you're like, Laura, we can't see the bump. Why are you hiding it? Hold on, hold your horses. Alrighty. I don't want to be too much. I don't want it to just be, wait, can we see there? Okay, yeah, we can see that. Let me go on my tippy toes. So this, oh, okay, I'll go down a tiny bit more. There we go. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. So this is a nice maternity skirt that I recently got from Kmart, because I've always been one, now I'm down here talking to you, I've always been one for like high-waisted pants, but I'm now at the point where anything that's actually pushing on my stomach is just horrible. Like, it just really is. And I'm also really noticing that beginning of the day, we're kind of here, and then end of the day, we're like out here. So yeah, the bump definitely grows throughout the day. It's still very focused down kind of here in that little like pooch area. So if the top of my underwear kind of sits here, my hips are here, it's like still quite down low there. But yeah, it's definitely starting to come through. The main change is in the top half. So I have had to go buy all new bras. It actually happened last week. And I think that, I hope I don't have this again, but I think it's one of those funny things where everything's kind of steadily increasing, and then you have a week where you just go, zow! And so that's what I had, where I had some slightly smaller bras, and then I had a slightly larger one from when I weighed a bit more, sort of 18 months ago. And so in the space of a week, I switched from the slightly smaller ones to the one that I had that was slightly larger, to then falling out of that. And so I ended up going for my old classic faithful, it's a bend-on bra, it's a basics one. I can show you guys if you want to see it. So I went from wearing a 10D on the loosest. I used to wear a 10D on the tightest like a few years ago. And then when I tried like the 12C, it just wasn't the right thing, but I still really like the designs. Your girl had to go up, like, if you think about like sort of the cup and the back sizes, like 7 half sizes. I am now wearing a 14 double D, and it's on the loosest. No, sorry, it's on the tightest. It's on the tightest, so then I've got more room for like ribs to flare and for this to all kind of expand. That is where I am now at. So anyway, that's where I've kind of been, is that there's been a lot of body changes there. We're starting to get the bump through. I'll try show you guys next week sort of all of the maternity clothes that I now have. Mostly it's just stuff that's in bigger sizes, because I am really struggling to actually find physical stores where I can buy maternity stuff right now. But also it's a bit of a balance, because I'm only going to be working for the next 12-ish weeks. And then beyond that, I'm just going to be rugged up, not caring what I look like, you know? So having like the nice, like cute maternity skirt and all that is not going to be nearly as important when I'm just trying to be rugged up. I mean, I'll still need stuff that fits me, that keeps me warm, because it'll be German winter, you know, but it doesn't need to be so cute. Same with like bras and tops and stuff. I'm not going to be wearing proper structured bras at the end if I don't want to. I will just be wearing comfy stuff that kind of vaguely holds me at the end if that's what I want to be doing, you know? So it's a bit of a balance, because I don't want to over purchase. And then when I do get back into corporate life, if that's what I end up doing, I have no idea what size I'm going to be. So there's no point trying to like plan for that. But anyway, I'm talking so much, so I'm going to have some water. On top of those body changes, I've also been experiencing a lot through my hips and my legs. So I'll just kind of show you guys where I mean. So what I started out with was sort of the classic low back pain, where I'd be lying down and I'd go to get up and I just felt like I had no strength through here, and it was just really uncomfy. That then ended up coming down my butt, and I felt like I wanted my husband to almost like get his elbow just right into that butt muscle, down the backs of my legs. And then I also started getting it through the front and down my quads and down sort of the front sides of my legs. And I'm still getting a lot of that in the afternoons and evenings. Since working with my chiropractor, I've been feeling a lot better. Hold on, you're on an angle. There we go. Yeah, the chiropractic care has made it a lot better, and I'm feeling, before it was kind of like a, you know, when someone's gonna like throw something heavy at you, and so you kind of brace yourself, ready. I felt like there was no way from here to, you know, down to my knees, all of that pelvic area, I felt like there was no way I could get into like a strong position. Everything was just really upset. And so now, having had that chiropractic care, I'm feeling a lot stronger through that area, like I can cope with a lot more. It was also good to get reassurance from her, because I felt a bit like crying when I was like, I'm already in a decent amount of pain, and at the time I was like, I'm only at like 12, almost 13 weeks. Like, this just kind of seems not good. And it was good to get reassurance from her that, particularly with being hypermobile, but also just generally, this is where my body's really preparing that area to then be ready for the expansion. And with how my pregnancy has gone so far, it seems like my body is doing a really, really awesome job of like doing the most for the pregnancy based on the changes I've seen so far. It's really doing the most. So it has really been heftily preparing that area ready for making room for baby. So that then means that it would be totally normal for me to be experiencing this pain now, rather than thinking like, oh, I shouldn't be in any kind of pain till like 30 weeks when the baby's getting real big. Like, no, it does actually make sense that it would be happening now. Of course, we don't want to be in excess pain, and we want to try and support my body so that everything is still working well, but it's not like it's drastically wrong and I'm not going to be able to cope for the rest of the pregnancy and whatever. So yeah, food. I am eating so much better than I was able to like a month ago. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am so happy. I am just able to eat like I was prior to when I got pregnant. And I think I've told you guys about this. We worked with a naturopath prior to me getting pregnant, and I really do contribute a lot of our success to her help with us. And I think that it was that like final kind of magic ingredient. I'm not saying she did like everything, but it was that missing piece, you know? So anyway, what that meant was that I was eating really healthy. I was eating a lot of really good animal fats. So I would start my day with, it's a homemade chicken liver pate, which might sound really gross, but it's got really, really good vitamins and nutrients and stuff, on like a little bit of homemade sourdough. My breakfast was then like a nutty, seedy granola with full fat yogurt with some fruit. And then my lunch was very protein and vegetable salad-y centric. And then same with dinner. And then snacks was like high protein stuff. I was eating salmon. I was eating some like good meats. Yeah, just like lots of veggies, lots of good fats, proteins, all of that. And for a while there, I was not able to do that. And I was very, very carb centric, and I didn't feel as good. And it's taken a little bit of courage in myself to try and say, come on, you can move away from the emotional support carbs, because you are going to feel better. You're going to have better energy, all of that, eating better food. And I have found that, and I am really, really so grateful for that. I didn't have my cereal available yesterday, and I was so sad. I ended up just like grabbing a mixture of nuts and seeds from our cupboard and other stuff and making it for myself, because I didn't feel like having porridge, oatmeal, which is what I'd been having for like the last 2 months, because that's all I could stomach. I didn't feel like having that. I wanted something fresher and healthier, even though porridge is still like pretty good. It's like a very decent option. I just really wanted that really, really good stuff. The other thing is that even though it's literally about to come into spring, there are, on some of the neighborhood trees of houses that have no fence and that it looks like no one's living there, really beautiful oranges. And I've never been an orange person. I've never been an orange person. I did not do the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse that made you orange. That's what I'm trying to say. I actually didn't. I wanted to, though, but I didn't. But I've never been one for like eating loads of oranges. But literally next to the camera here is cut up orange, because these things are just so juicy and sweet. It's like eating lollies. Like, it is so good. I'm not even really one for lollies, but basically just juicing it with my face. That is so juicy and good. feel like there's kids at the soccer games, but it is just beautiful. So lots of good fruits, vegetables, still some refined carbs because baby is craving cheese scones, and like if baby wants a cheese scone, baby's gonna have a cheese scone. But yeah, I am just in a much better place than I was a couple of months ago. I will admit to you guys, there was a moment when I was like sitting there on the sofa at 6 p.m. feeling like I was just completely dead and could do nothing. And it was night after night after night of that, just feeling horribly exhausted and nauseous every evening, and having to take sick days because of how terrible I was feeling. I was like, have I made the biggest mistake of my life? Because I feel terrible. Apparently with a newborn you feel terrible. Apparently a third trimester you feel terrible. And so I felt like I just sentenced myself to feel terrible forever. Right now I feel like I'm very much in that second trimester glow. And I am going to embrace it. This is when I say it's when we need to be getting stuff done. We kind of needed to be getting stuff done before to get the house ready. Honestly, that was like the biggest thing. But we have our visa appointment in a few weeks. I have my ADHD assessment in a few weeks, which I booked like a year ago because that is how short we are on psychiatrists who are specialized in adult ADHD in this country. I saw an article the other day that said like, oh, people are waiting for up to 6 weeks to get in to see blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I waited like 10, 11 months to get in. What are you on about with this? Oh, 6 weeks. Oh, anyway, sorry. Rant. My husband is clearing out a lot of his music stuff. What we have worked out is that because he's a musician, he has multiple instruments, he has music, he has all of the accessories to go along with different stuff. He has a lot of stuff, but the cost of shipping and the import duty into Germany, even for your own personal possessions, is so high that we are going to be moving 6 suitcases. And all of our carry-on is going to be musical instruments. And the reason for that is that like instruments are like 10 grand each. Any bag that you check, that you put in the hold, that goes under the plane, all of that, the most they'll pay out for damaging that is 3 grand. So we have worked out a way that we can carry on all of the instruments when we travel. It's basically going to be like instruments and then wearing a big coat with all of our other important stuff in our pockets, you know. I'm not even sure how I'm going to do the camera and everything, but again, it's not something that oh my gosh, pardon me, I'm so sorry. It's not something that I necessarily want to check. So anyway, there's a little bit to figure out there, but yeah, just really happy to be at this stage. Okay, like I said, videos coming up. So I'm thinking I'm going to show you guys my little kind of maternity wardrobe that I now have to fit. Honestly, there are so many clothes in my wardrobe that I just need to get rid of. I don't know if that's a job for today. I look like I have lots of energy, but I've only just got to this point where I feel like I have extra energy to give. So might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but it's going to be soon. I'll get a clear out of that and then show you guys maternity wardrobe. I might do a little video talking about like the stuff that I'm planning to buy while still in New Zealand, and then what I'm planning to get once I'm over in Germany. I think I want to do a little update with my husband about like what we're going to miss about New Zealand, because I know a lot of people are very surprised that we are choosing to leave New Zealand. And so it might be fun to talk about that. Also talking about what I'm doing to try help my mental health during this period, because there are a lot of things going on, and when you start to get into like online resources and the different apps and the different books, there's a lot of stuff out there. So I kind of want to talk about what I'm doing to protect my mental health through that. And then also just generally looking at how I'm trying to be minimalist during this new phase of life through pregnancy, and then what I think I'm planning for when we do have a new baby. So if any of that resonates with you and you'd like to stick around, please comment down below what you'd like to see more of and what you kind of thought about this video. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back to you guys as much. Again, hopefully I can do more of that in the future. Please subscribe if you liked this and you'd like to see more of it. And other than that, I will see you guys next week. I'm going to commit to it. It's going to happen. I will see you guys next week. Okay, bye.